I am Satish Paryani, working as an assistant professor in Department of Mechanical, WIT Institute of Technology, Solapur. Today, we will be discussing on a very important topic which an entrepreneur should know is plan procurement process. He should be known to this process because he is overall in charge of decision maker. So procurement plays a very important role and it is a backbone of any industry in any field, I will say. Learning outcome. At the end of this session, students will be able to understand what you need before you begin management process, which this is procurement management process. The contents we will be covering is plan procurement process, input to what are the inputs required for plan procurement management process. Let us start with the basics of plan procurement process. What does it includes the following activities. The first and foremost what it includes is performing make or buy decisions. Make or buy decisions, it depends upon the capacity, it depends upon the installed capacity or the future plans what the company is making, whether he want to make the product or he have to buy the product. Whether, see, in this case, the procurement for plan procurement process for make or buy decision, whether the running product also, if the quantity or demand increases drastically, maybe if it is during the seasonal time, during their peak time, if the demand increases, whether he should be able to put the additional capacity or he should be able to buy it from the vendors with some delta cost impact or impact on profitability, I will say, per piece. Or if you want to go for backward integration, whether he will be going for buying that product or in the future he will be making that product, he has to know this plan procurement process, or it includes what he has to take the decision basis of whether he will be making that product or buying that product. Then the important point activity is creating the procurement management plan. In that plan, what are the steps required? What are the steps involved? How management should follow that process of procurement? It should be very clearly understood. Then the important activity is creating the procurement statement. Then selecting the contracts. We have seen the different contracts, centralized contract, decentralized contracts. N number of contracts are there. Which type of contract is sold, and contract knowledge, even though legal team many times it is there which will reach during the bidding process, or when he takes the project or something like that, he takes the big projects, the businessman as a owner, as an enterprise, he should be known, he should be jack of all these things. He cannot be involved each and every in minute detail, but yes, he should be known to that words, known to that statements, what will be the impact on that if I am not able to complete on time, if what will happen if they require at a very fast rate, how much I should charge, what is the impact on my time, cost, delivery, and if I am taking this on faster track, what is the impact on other projects. So this statement of clear-cut contract selection is important for any entrepreneur. Then the important is the creating the procurement documents. Many times these documents are not only needed for our as a future development, as a historical data we can use in our organization, but many times government organizations also ask us to produce these documents on timely basis. Many times it is like they have, like in the past, sales tax benefit was created, this time some GST free zones they might create. So government does not give the money in one shot. Government adjusts in their future plans, future your work, future your activities of sales. So these procurement documentations should be very clear, which are the documents required when we are procuring from outside, what else is required. what type shipments is there, DDU, DDP, what amount we can claim, what amount we cannot claim. It should be very clearly understood if we are maintaining these documents. So procurement documents plays an important, and also it shows the trend line of our part price or product price over a period of time. What factors are being impacted, whether the raw material price has been impacted, whether overheads are being impacted, or whether sale price has become down or up. It happens. So these documents plays a very important role. Then the final is determining source selection criteria, whether which source we are selling, whether it will be for this product, whether the source will be for single source, whether it will be for multi source. If there is single source, what will be the impact? We have to depend completely on it. Whether it is multiple source, how much share of business we will give to them, whether we will give them 50-50, 40-60, what is the location, what is the source, whether it should be within our 50 kilometers, whether 100 kilometers is okay, or more than 500 kilometers is okay, or whether we can procure from outside also if it is giving a good impact, whether during the transit that damage will happen or not happen. These things, source selection criteria should be very clear cut. So as an entrepreneur, he has to take what is the lead time. As we go away, there is an impact on lead time also. So that lead time is affecting or not affecting me, whether I am able to stock that item, or whether I am just use just in time policy for the parts. It depends on that. It depends on the decision what the as a manager or as a, it will be taken on the basis of his direction made by the entrepreneur. Now what are the inputs to plan procurement process? Project management plan. The scope, baseline, which is a part of project management plan, helps those involved in procurement process understand the scope of the project, identify where procurements are necessary, and understand any constraint on potential procurement efforts. Very simple input plan, project management plan. The second important is requirement documents. This is where you will find the scope related requirements. What is the scope? What are it is generally related scope and vision statements are generally linked to each other. So scope related requirements that are likely to guide the end product or services or result provided by the seller in this case. Now the third important is activity resource requirement. The activity resource requirement will provide information on the what are the required skills, number and type of resources that will need in the procurement process. It's also necessary to identify where resources are not available within the performing organization to help determine what services need to be procured. Enterprise environmental factors. These factors are companies, culture and existing systems your project will have to deal with or can use it for procurement. This includes marketplace conditions, the services that are available to be purchased, and the existing culture and structure surrounds the organization approach to the procurement. Organizational process assets. The organization process assets that are used in procurement can include procurement procedures and documents, standard contracts, statements of work, templates, lessons learned from the past procurement and projects, and list of pre-qualified sellers. See, sellers and bidders. There are certain criteria which we are taking as a customers. So this is also a way related to the risk register. The risk registers provide the understanding of the risk uncovered to date, as well as the risk responses that require procurements. The project schedule. The schedule will help determine when the procurement are needed and will also provide the schedule constraint, required completion dates and time estimates. Initial cost estimates for the work to be procured. An internal cost estimates for each procurement should be created before the procurement process starts to be used for comparison with sellers' prices. Now a small statement is given. think and tell me whether the below statement which you are seeing on this screen is true or false. The stakeholder registers will help identify those who will be impacted by the procurement process, as well as those who will have input into or will guide this process, like procurement manager, attorneys. Stakeholders, who are the stakeholders? All those who are involved with the company, all those who are like customers, internal employees, the financial people who are supported. Now the statement is true or false after seeing. Yes, the statement is true. References I have taken from the Google and the Project Management and Control by Narendra Singh, and ebook 8th edition by Ritas. Thank you.